Do you remember the junk wax era of collecting trading cards? It was a time where the market was flooded with just about every single movie adaptation you could imagine in trading card form. Or so you'd think. The fact is, there are a lot of movies that never got trading cards, and some that I really wish had. So I thought to myself, what if I put my design skills to use creating wax packs for movies that never got trading cards? My goal is to create them so authentically that you can't distinguish the difference, or hopefully you can't. That's the whole idea. But we'll see, because we're going to put these to the test as I show you one real pack and one fake pack, and you guys get to determine which one's real and which one's fake. Okay, today on Real or Fake Pack Break, we have a few sci-fi cult classics, and I've been dying to get into these, break these open. So we've got Dune and Buckaroo Bonsai, and we've got Plan 9 from Outer Space and Space 1999. And we're going to compare these. We're going to see which ones are real, which ones are fake. And as always, if you are a collector of vintage wax packs, you may already know that because you might be pretty versed in all of the different wax packs that were produced. So you may be like, I already know which ones are real and which ones are fake, but hopefully you'll still enjoy the video because we're gonna break open some stuff you haven't seen and some stuff that, like as usual with these pack breaks, it's always fun to kind of see what cards show up when you start opening them and everything. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna start off with these two. One these are very classic as far as these go way back. And we always open them in order of release. So the first movie, well, one's a movie, one's a TV show. But the first one is Plan 9 from Outer Space. The infamous, one of the, considered one of the worst movies of all time. The Ed Wood classic Plan 9 from Outer Space. This one is from Fleer, and let's see, this one came out in 1959, and then Space 99 premiered, I think, in 1973. So a little bit of a gap there, but still pretty classic. Most of them before my time, or I mean, this one I would have been just a baby probably. So, but anyway. Let's see here. So Plan 9 from Outer Space. Again, the Ed Wood classic, considered one of the worst movies of all time. So let's break open these packs. We've got some old bubble. What is that? 1959. How old is that bubble gum? You guys tell me. All right, here we go. Trapped by the Ghoul. And then, what was the guy's? I forgot. What's Tor Johnson? I think is the guy who played that big giant. He was the police. The acting. Oh my gosh! If you haven't seen the acting, it's just horrendous. But anyway, this is where he turns into a zombie and attacks. So it's a zombie flick. It's a sci-fi flick, and as usual, Ed Wood just kind of throws everything into the kitchen sink and just the ridiculous cost-cutting measures on the sets and stuff. But yeah, and this is I think this is the first black and white movie that we've opened. This goes all the way back to black and white flicks. So there we go, Trapped by the Ghoul, and of course we got some memorable quotes. Oh, these are gonna be fun. For a time we had to contact them by radio, but no response. Then they attacked the town, a small town, I'll admit, but nevertheless a town of people who died. Oh man, there's some great clips. All right, God help us in the future. And what was this guy's? Was Kreskin? Was it Kreskin? Maybe it doesn't say. I think that's the name of this guy. He was, I don't know, he's a radio show host or something, but he introduced kind of the film and everything, and it's just ridiculous. All right, there we go. This is who is supposed to be. Shoot, I'm trying to remember the actor's name. He played Dracula. Bela Lugosi. But he unfortunately died in the production of the film, so they had another actor basically just walk around with his face covered this whole time. I guess nowadays they would have just like AI'd him or CGI'd him or something like that, but back in the day they couldn't do that. So there we go. We get more memorable quotes. So yeah, let's see. As the aliens retreat, pretty good shot there of them just looking by. Oh, what is this one? So memorable quotes. This is the most fantastic story ever heard. And and every word of it is true too. That's the fantastic part of it. All right. His dead wife awaits, and this is, I wanted to say Vampirella, but not Vampirella. Is it Vampira? I don't know. There's so many of those classic female vampires from pulp and movies and stuff like that. But of course, she made her appearance here as the wife of was it the police inspector? Oh no, it was Bela Lugosi's character's wife. I remember now. And she again becomes, I guess it's vampires and zombies. I don't know. There we go. All right, flying saucers attack, and one of the most infamous things in this movie is that you can see the strings and everything that the that the flying saucers are being suspended by. Let's see. Greetings, my friend. We are all interested in the future, for that is where you and I are going to spend the rest of our lives. All right, stop him, you fool! It's a classic scene. That's great. Here's the scene. You think spaceships. You think they could have done a little better on a spaceship background other than some curtains. But no, that's what the spaceship looks like in the interior. What we got here? You see your stupid mind. Stupid. All right. Back from the dead. And we got another good shot of Tor Johnson. That's that classic shot that you again see on so many of the promotions and stuff, and even on the cover of the pack here. A witness silenced. And there's our main character. I saw a flying saucer. A flying saucer? You mean the kind from up there? Yeah, either that or its counterpart. I don't know what that means. All right, so there you go. Plan 9 from outer space. You gotta love it. Okay, another classic from the 70s. This came out, I think, after Star Trek, around the same time. But I remember having the little die-cast, I think Eagle 1, the spaceship here. Pretty cool spaceship. I think somebody gave it to me. I don't think, because I don't think I would have been collecting these at the time. But recently I saw I don't know if they're still doing it, but Shout Factory online on their YouTube channel has been re-showing a lot of old classic stuff, like just live streaming it. And they were live streaming some episodes of Space 99, and I got to catch some, and pretty interesting show. Just a lot, similar to Star Trek in a lot of ways. Ooh, I like this. Hold on. Kind of like, and these are produced by let's see, those were Flair. These were produced by Flair, and then these I think are Donruss. Let's see, yeah, Donruss produced these. Space 1999. All right, so here we go. Let's see. It's kind of interesting how they did that. Okay, Dr. Russell and Paul Morrow are frightened by the unknown, and it looks like is that an umbrella? I don't know. And we've got some puzzle pieces, and then of course Martin Landau. I forgot to mention that. That was a young Martin Landau who. Kind of the connection here is that Ed Wood, the movie Ed Wood, Martin Landau played Bela Lugosi in Plan 9 from Outer Space, and here he is as a younger man and as the captain of the Eagle 1. So pretty cool. I do like man. That's a really cool layout and design for these cards here, and of course, Here, even a TV show has a little better budget where you've got some stuff that actually backgrounds that actually look like a spaceship. Kind of hard to read the type here. An alien killer escapes from the security guards. Oh, that's cool. We got some cool space aliens. Lieutenant Carter holds a robot ruler hostage on an alien planet. And most of these are like puzzle pieces. Oh, and we got some old gum here. And then here we got them in their spacesuits and everything. So pretty cool. So now it's time for the big reveal. Or is it not? No, it's not time for the big reveal. We're going to wait on that. We're going to wait to reveal which one of the either Plan 9 from Outer Space or Space 1999 is the real pack and which one is fake. But first, we've got another set to open. Here, two classics. These are all classics. So let's move that out of the way so we can make room for our next set of packs. So we've got Dune and Buckaroo Bonsai. We open these in order of release. So which one came out first? So actually, both of these movies came out in 1984. Dune came out in December, and Buckaroo Bonsai came out in August. So that means that Buckaroo Bonsai is going to be the first to be opened. So here we go. Let's open a pack of Buckaroo Bonsai. This is absolutely the definition of a cult classic. A movie that pretty much totally bombed, but upon video release and people starting to discover it. Now I was aware, and I can't remember if I saw this in the theater or not, but there was a comic book adaptation, and I remember ads in comics. There probably wasn't a whole lot of, I don't know if there was a whole lot of media, around surrounding it, but I was very much aware, and I know it wasn't one of those that I discovered later upon video release. I either saw it in the theater or I was at least aware enough of it that I wanted to go see it. So here we go, Buckaroo Bonsai and Buckaroo Bonsai, The Adventures of Buckaroo Bonsai Across the Eighth Dimension, a very long title, longer than just Dune. All right. So here we go, Buckaroo Bonsai trading cards. These are by Topps, and again, these came out in 1984. And we got some old gum, some nasty old gum. Let's break these packs open here. Let's come on, there's gotta be an easier way to do this. Okay, here we go. All right, Buckaroo Bonsai, and the thing about Buckaroo Bonsai, it is just loaded with star power. I mean, here you go, John Lithgow as the villain, one of the villainous aliens, a shot to the system. And of course, here we've got some movie facts on the back. With that classic Buckaroo Bonsai logo, one of the many. I mean, there's another classic logo here. Oh, and then speaking of classics, this great line. I forgot who originally said the line. I mean, he's just quoting it, but it's kind of famous for this movie. Is wherever you go, there you are. And then let's see if it. No, it doesn't say who originally made that who coined that phrase, but there you go, Peter Weller, who would go on to play RoboCop, another big star. Oh, and then we got all the aliens. Launch the thermal pods. So there you go. And then Penny Pretty in Peril. Ellen Birkin, another, there we go again. Another, is that her name? I think that's it. Yeah. Another big, she would go on to play in another number of movies and things like that. And then here we go, a lot of people. You see Jeff Goldblum back there. Clancy Brown was also in it, he was in Shawshank, and he voices Mr. Krabs. But yeah, there's just tons and tons of awesome characters and people in this movie. Let's see some of the facts. The film soundtrack, composed by Michael Bodecker, is an integral part of its charm and features a mix of rock, electronic music, and components of the film's energetic and electric scenes. And of course, the thing about Buckaroo Bonsai, he's kind of this Renaissance man where, he's a rock star, he's a scientist, he's a brain surgeon, invent all this stuff. So, I mean, and this is one of those that I don't know if I don't want to see it remade, but it's definitely one that we could see further adventures of. And as much as I like Peter Weller, he's actually, the characters are supposed to be half Japanese, and I don't think, pretty sure Peter Weller's not half Japanese, so maybe cast somebody who's half Japanese. But I'd love to see a series or something, and just to continue on the adventures, because like Indiana Jones or something, this is a character that we'd love to see more of. And there was supposed to be a sequel that kind of never happened. Oh, and speaking of star power, there you go. There is Jeff Goldblum as New Jersey. Here we go. And then this is a Sneak Attack. And just, again, great characters. Just this is, if you haven't seen Buckaroo Bonsai, and it is kind of an acquired taste, I would say. Not everyone's going to be into it, but man, I love it. I love it for so many reasons. It's just that it's just crazy. It's bizarre. It's funny that it's crazy that it ever got made, but it's great. So there you go. And then John Lithgow, and back here you probably can't tell, but that is Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd also in this movie is one of the aliens here. So. Oh, and then we got all the main. This is kind of that. If you haven't seen it, there's a classic scene at the end where they're just walking down this, I don't know what you call it, a reservoir or just a water, basically the water runoff like in LA or something where you know, and they just kind of start walking with that the classic song, and then it's just first it's Peter Weller, and then all his team kind of joins him, the Hong Kong Cavaliers, that's the name of the band and kind of his group. But yeah, really cool. And then another classic scene, Bonsai captured and controlled, John Lithgow and Peter Weller there. Great set of cards. So another classic movie. Now obviously this has been recently remade. The new Dune is just incredible. Denis Villeneuve just did an amazing job on the Dune films, but there's something to be said for the David Lynch. It is weird, but it's still one of those movies that I watched as a kid. There's some parts that were kind of weird and drug on for me, but I collected the toys and stuff, so I was kind of a fan of. I think more than anything, this is touted in the beginning. This is like the new Star Wars, even though Star Wars took a lot from Dune. But Dune obviously came out later, came out again in 1984. But I think I in the absence of Star Wars, because this was after Return of the Jedi, I wanted another Star Wars, so I was just kind of hoping that this would be it. Maybe not so much, because it is kind of a weird movie, but I did see it at the theater and I did like it, and I think it was one of the biggest bombs in movie history. So. But it's gone on to kind of again gain a cult following for a number of reasons. Oh yeah, and this pack is put out by Fleer. Let's see, and we've got some. Are we gonna even get to see with the gum? Let's see if we can. Yeah, there we go. That's the best we could do. We kind of lost the sticker here. So Dune sticker number 10 of 44. We've got the Beast Raban. So and then Dave Bautista plays him in the new movie. Did a great job. Yeah, I think. But there's a lot of stars here. Is that? I forgot what the doctor here, what his name is, but that's kind of cool. We've got some illustrations here on the back there. All right, so Dr. Yui. So I forgot the actor. He's been in a lot of stuff too, but there's a lot of stars in here. Paul Hook's the giant worm. And there we've got the sandworm, and I remember those being pretty cool. I was like, how else are you gonna illustrate them? Because it almost kind of opens up almost like in Stranger Things. Of course, this came first, but when I heard that they were going to remake Dune, I'm like, well, how do you improve on the sandworms? And they really did a good job of doing that. So I mean, the new movie is just so great. But there you go. And then you go, Patrick Stewart back there, and then I'm drawing a blank at the actor's name again, but just pretty much an all-star cast in this movie as well as the new one. Duke Leto orders a rescue. Raban, we've gutted him, and then so we've got the Baron Harkonnen and Raban, and here we go. Paul meets the Reverend Mother. Let's see, and we've got some facts on the back here. Paul and Stilgar watch the Fremen charge. Oh, and then we got a really cool action scene. The first Sudakar attack. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. I don't remember that from. I've listened to the books on tape and everything, but there's so many bizarre things. Oh, and then speaking of, there's just a lot of weird stuff. He pulls out this guy's, the suit, and all the water goes all over the place, and which I think the water is that's not something they would just waste like that in the movie Dune, or in the history or the lure of Dune. Ramon takes off the still suit, and then that's a pretty cool shot, unpacking in the Great Hall. So yeah, and the sets and everything in Dune, really cool. There's definitely stuff in the David Lynch stuff that, you know, and there's some classic lines in there, like, you know, when Sting, we didn't get any Sting cards, but when Sting's like, I will kill you, and then, Fear is the Mind Killer, all that stuff. So there's some great stuff in the first Dune, and then of course, not, you know, we'll just kind of mention the what was it, now I can't remember the documentary. What was I forgot the artist's name, the director who was, I forgot it, but there's a whole making of the Dune that never got produced that would have just been bonkers crazy. And if this one wasn't bonkers crazy enough, and I'm drawing a blank, I'm kicking myself right now, but anyway. Okay, so we have so let's go and kind of the big reveal on which one of these is real, which one of these is fake. Let's start off. I guess we'll start off. We've got where we go. Where are we? Let's pull our cards out. We've got, where are those cards? Okay. So of these sets of cards, we've got Plan 9 from Outer Space by Fleer and Donruss's Space 1999. Which one of these is real and which one is fake? The real one is Space 99. So Space 1999. It's so weird that, you know, that was a futuristic time, 1999. Just ask Prince. But anyway, so Space 1999 are the real cards. They actually produced these. These are vintage cards. Plan 9 from Outer Space. I guess no surprise with the movie with that low. They probably didn't have a marketing budget or anyone interested in producing licensed products. But I felt that it needed a set of trading cards, and I had a lot of fun producing these. So there you go. These are available again on my website in limited quantities. The only difference is the gum that you get in these won't be crusty old bubble gum from, you know, I just threw in some old gum just to kind of make it not so obvious that these are reproductions. The only other difference is it won't say Fleer, it'll say something else. I think it's a different spelling or something like that, just because I'm not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes and like, oh, this is an actual set. No, these are just for fun, for people that want to fill in the gaps in their collection. So there you go. Now let's move on to Buckaroo Bonsai and Dune. Buckaroo Bonsai from Topps, Dune from Fleer. Which one of these classic set of cards is real and which one is fake? The real one is Dune. So yes, they actually produced Dune trading cards. But the Buckaroo Bonsai, and I had a lot of fun creating these. The Buckaroo Bonsai set is a one that I created myself. It is a fan creation. Again, you'll get a nice fresh stick of bubble gum, even though I wouldn't, the bubble gum's kind of nasty. I wouldn't eat it in any case, but, and it won't say, it'll say Pops or something like that. Just again, not to confuse anyone or trick anyone to thinking that these are actually real cards. But, yeah, and the other thing is these cards that I produce, both the Plan 9 from Outer Space and the Buckaroo Bonsai, they're just packs. They're not full sets. You can't, like, if you bought two of these, you're not going to get two separate, you're not going to get different cards. These are all the cards, again, just to kind of give you an idea of an alternate reality where some of these movies that you wish they had trading cards of, actually, you know, you could actually buy a pack and imagine and kind of get a sense of what that would have looked like. So there you go. These are available at my website at Serkworks.com, and that's going to do it for another episode of Real or Fake Pack Break.